Donald Trump's nominee to lead the Department of Homeland Security is retired Marine Corps General John F. Kelly. And this is a guy who was just caught lying about his career. So the Intercept's Lee Fung found out that this guy was a vice chairman at the Spectrum Group. Now, the Spectrum Group is a defense contractor lobbying firm. So the guy for Homeland Security is like this with defense contractors. I wonder what recommendations he's going to make to the president, and I wonder how he's going to run the Department of Homeland Security. Is he going to be reasonable? Is he going to make decisions based on the actual threats we face? Or is he going to go balls to the wall and try to beef up our defense contractors and give them more and more money with decisions that he makes? Hard to figure out. He's also a board member with Michael Baker International and Sallyport Global. These are two other defense contractors that do business with the U.S. government. Now, there's the obvious conflict of interest problem, but it's actually worse than that because he was required by law to disclose this, and he did not do that. So, I'm going to lay it out there now. I hope the mainstream media, I'm sure, is all over this because they care so deeply about corruption and conflicts of interest and ethics. He should step down and he should do it right now. And in fact, he should be forced to step down or there should be charges pressed against him. Because, okay, we have these ethics rules and regulations in place for a reason. They're there for a reason. CNN, where are you? MSNBC, where are you? Fox News, where are you? No, what I find amazing is Richard Nixon got a bunch of shit for saying, when the president does it, it's not illegal. But that's apparently how we act in the United States of America. Because the president-elect picked this guy for Department of Homeland Security. He's hiding shit in his past because those things are giant conflicts of interest that would affect how he does his job. And nobody cares. But then also, like we covered the story the other day, Tom Price for Health and Human Services Secretary, he repeatedly invested in medical companies and then would propose bills that would boost their stock price. So not only is he guilty of the same standard corruption all the other politicians are guilty of, which is taking money for their campaign and then doing favors for them, but he's also guilty of personal corruption of the degree and order that he actually could be prosecuted for it if we lived in a sane world where people actually cared about corruption. We're acting like a fucking third world banana republic here. Oh, so you repeatedly $300,000 worth of corrupt investments from Tom Price, representative from Georgia, who's supposed to be the Health and Human Services Secretary, and that's Donald Trump's pick. This guy was repeatedly investing in companies and then proposing bills to boost their stock price so he can make money personally. Repeatedly, over and over and over, he did it with a bunch of different companies. So he's not proposing bills to help the American people. He's proposing bills to beef up his wallet. And this guy gets a promotion. He should be in jail, but instead he gets a promotion. He's not even just coasting in the position he's already in. He's getting a fucking promotion. And it's probably that he's getting a promotion because Trump sees what he was doing and he goes, that's my kind of guy. So now I know me with my 8,000 different conflicts of interest with my personal business. This guy ain't going to say dick to me about that. This guy ain't going to call me out. This guy isn't going to say, hey man, there's some ethics problems with that. This guy's going to say, I'm going to get a piece of that, son. But this is where we are in the United States of America. This is how bad it's gotten. Is that, I mean, you have somebody, you want to know why he's hiding his ties to defense contractors? Because he knows how that looks, because he knows the way it looks is correct. Oh, you're going to do their bidding. You're getting this top position in the government. You're going to help them out. People wonder, well, how is it? We have thousands of tanks sitting in the Nevada desert. Just sitting there. What the fuck happened there? What happened is Congress decided, hey, we're going to give you a contract and give you billions of dollars and you're going to make more tanks for us. And the military themselves were saying, we don't need more tanks. Congress was like, that's cool. You're getting them anyway. Why would Congress give the military more tanks when the military is saying, we don't even need any more tanks? Corruption. because Congress is taking money from the defense contractors, so they're going to help out their buddies, even if that means tanks rot in the desert somewhere. They don't care. They don't care. Meanwhile, Flint doesn't even have clean water. We can't get our infrastructure graded above D. Our infrastructure's fucking crumbling. We got, 50% of the country makes $30,000 a year or less in America. That's half the country basically in poverty. And we're not, people are concerned about that, but the government's like, hey, more no-bid contracts of these defense contractors, defense, Orwellian term, contractors, and give it to the military even if they don't want it, because we got to keep our buddies rich, fat and rich, and keep this gigantic circle jerk of money and power that we have, which is called the U.S. government, intact. This is sick, man. And nobody cares. Like, this is what drives me crazy about our media. You're going to spend more time talking about Donald Trump meeting with Kanye West, Donald Trump meeting with Steve Harvey, Donald Trump and Meryl Streep going at it on Twitter. You're going to talk more about that than you're going to talk about this? That doesn't mean anything. That's celebrity gossip level TMZ Perez Hilton bullshit. That doesn't affect anybody's life. Kanye meeting with Donald Trump. It just shows them both for the goofballs that they are, but we already know that they're goofballs. Who gives a fuck? This affects people's lives. This shows our limited resources in the United States of America. Your fucking tax money is going to be siphoned more to defense contractors, while we have real problems we have to address for regular people. Over $1 trillion in student loan debt. Over $1 trillion in credit card debt. A bubble that's reinflated with the housing market. But this is where the priorities are. We have openly corrupt people that Donald Trump is picking. He's not draining the swamp. He's building a brand new swamp on the White House lawn. No coverage. No, go ahead. Try to find it. I'll wait. Go to ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN. Go wherever the fuck you want. You ain't going to find serious coverage about this. They might give it maybe some, maybe, big maybe, but maybe some. Run a minute-long story, 2 minutes max. There are some questions about Department of Homeland Security pick, retired Marine Corps General John F. Kelly. He didn't disclose certain things on his ethics reform. All right, next. On his ethics form, Next. What are we talking about next? Oh, a cat was stuck in a tree in Toledo today. Let's spend more time on that. The media is failing you. This is why people turn to my show. This is why people turn to new media. Is because these guys do such an abysmal job, their outrage meter is broken. They don't know where to put the focus. I don't know. Red balloon, go. The celebrity said something about Trump. Oh, let's run Beyonce in 2020. They're a bunch of idiots, and they're hired because they won't rock the boat. You think Don Lemon was hired because he's an inquiring mind who's going to get to the bottom of things and be a crusader for truth and justice? He's hired because he won't rock the boat. He'll do the establishment talking points. And he's not a bad guy. He's just a dim bulb, and that's why he's put in that position. Wolf Blitzer, the man who's never said an interesting thing in his entire life. He's been on TV since 1872 and he's still not famous. That guy. That guy's got nothing to say of substance. He's the guy who said, I'm not sure why. If we stop giving money to the defense contractors, won't that hurt jobs? And it was in the context of a conversation about innocent women and children, civilians being bombed in Yemen. How the U.S. is giving Saudi Arabia money and weapons, and they're massacring civilians in Yemen, bombing schools, hospitals, mosques, open-air markets. And Wolf Blitzer's response to that was, yeah, but if we stop that, won't jobs be affected? Your media is failing you. This should be talked about until the guy's fucking fired or he steps down. Same thing with Tom Price. Same thing with the rest of them, man. Same thing with the fucking rest of them. Same thing with Jeff Sessions and his 8,000 scandals and his grotesque record. One of the most conservative members of the Senate. Good people don't smoke marijuana. I used to like the KKK until I heard that some of them smoke weed. called a white civil rights attorney a traitor to his race, voted for almost every outsourcing bill for jobs, has a 0% rating from the LGBTQ community, has a 20% rating from the ACLU, sides against civil liberties 80% of the time. And these are the people we're fucking considering? Poosder for labor secretary who doesn't believe in labor. He said, let's do automation. Do automation? You're the fucking labor secretary. You want to go to a fully automated system which further stratifies and further exacerbates income and wealth inequality? We just covered the story the other day. 8 people in the world have more wealth than the bottom 3.6 billion. That wasn't a mistake. You heard me right. That's not a mistake. Those are real numbers from Oxfam, a report on it. And this guy says, yeah, what are you going to do? He's against even a minimum wage increase. I'm not even sure he's in favor of a minimum wage. This guy is an Ayn Rand loyalist. He admits that. He's open about it. He's an anti-union, anti-maternity leave, anti-vacation time, anti-sick time kind of guy, and this is who we want for labor secretary. What kind of a joke is this? Goldman Sachs for various positions in the administration when you spent the entire campaign ripping Hillary Clinton for her close ties to Goldman Sachs and Wall Street? What kind of a sick joke is this, man? Media, where are you? These are the real conversations to be had. Instead, they're chasing a balloon somewhere. Give me a fucking joke. Give me a joke. Give me a fucking break.